Trench composting. What is it? Should you do it? Should you not do it? I'm going to give you folks all the information you need to know about trench composting. Now, with everything in life, you have to weigh, or you should rather, weigh the risks versus the rewards. And in my experience, trench composting is a phenomenal way to add organic matter to your soil and to improve your soil, no matter what kind of soil you have, sand, clay, whatever. Anytime you add organic matter to your soil, that's a win. It's going to hold moisture in your soil and also help with drainage. That's right, it does both. It's amazing. So back in New York, we had a small amount of land, property, if you even want to call it that, a tiny yard. And I improved that soil in a very short amount of time. And one of the ways I did that was trench composting. Now, does it have to be a trench? No, it could be a hole, okay? What can you bury? Anything that was once living, plant matter, animal matter, whatever. The soil is going to break it down. Now, what I did was I dug a little trench here, and we have clay soil here. This soil has improved over the few years of amending it, a little bit of tilling, okay? I do recommend tilling sometimes, in some circumstances, at least once, and I'll tell you why. At least one of the reasons is you might find garbage in your soil. I was digging over here in this area recently, and I found a tarp, probably loaded with toxins, loaded with garbage. You don't want that in your soil. So you want to till sometimes, at least once, to find out what's in your soil. You might find glass, 2-liter bottles, whatever type of garbage, and you want that out of your soil, folks. All right, so depth. You could plant, you can trench compost as deep as you want to, all right? You only really need a little bit of coverage, okay? Only a few inches of soil to cover for everything to start breaking down. Now we're working with a few things here, okay? Insects and earthworms, and we're also working with soil microbiology. They're gonna do the work for you. Now, why would you trench compost instead of just having a common aerobic hot compost pile? I'm glad you asked. Well, in an aerobic hot compost pile, that's not a very good place for worms. They die, all right? Now with trench composting, one of the main benefits is the earthworms are going to migrate to that area and leave their gardening gold, the worm castings, behind. That stuff is full of beneficial soil microbiology and a massive amount of nutrients and a diversity of nutrients, folks. So if you want to increase the worm populations in your garden, whether that's in ground like here, this garden bed, or you have a raised bed, whatever it is, worms are gonna help you out. So we've got some pasta that might have been compromised, might be moldy, it got wet, folks, that's horrible. So I'm just gonna bury it, all right? So some people might be thinking, you might be worried, and you should be, about unwanted animals, pests, critters, whatever. Now, in my experience, I've never really had a problem with that, okay? If you bury deep enough. Now, one of the benefits of planting deeper, of rather trench composting deeper, is that you're less likely to have those animals show up and dig. If they do dig, it's free tilling. Just saying, something to think about. Now, does it have to be food scraps like animal matter, plant matter? No, it could be any vegetation, like this dry vegetation right here. This could be buried as well. Sticks and twigs. Boom, how you doing? All right? It's all gonna break down and it's all gonna become food for your plants. Now here, I think this is deep enough, okay, to keep away any unwanted animals. Now it also depends on what you're burying. If you are burying any animal matter, animal proteins and / or fats, then you're gonna wanna plant deeper. Smell, smell, smell. Now, how do you cover the smell? Again, by planting deeper. And number 2, covering it with some type of carbon. That could be any dry browns. In the world of composting, you have your greens and your browns, okay? Carbon. So I'm gonna cover this up, all right? This looks like some clay. I can't wait to see how this clay improves its drainage, its tillage. It's just gonna be so amazing once this breaks down, okay? I'm gonna cover this up. Now you can cover this to keep those animals away with some dry leaves, dry vegetation, and also wood chips. Wood chip mulch is amazing. I've got some pine shavings here, okay, from when I cleaned out our chicken coop litter, and that carbon is going to cover up the smell, all right? And you're gonna just cover this loosely, and you want to water it in. Remember, a lot of that beneficial, some to all of that beneficial soil microbiology is kind of aquatic. It needs water in order to multiply, and you want to multiply soil microbiology. One of the benefits of growing in ground compared to raised beds is a lot of you folks in your raised beds, in your containers, you're growing in a relatively sterile environment. Not good, all right? You want the soil microbiology. Some of you have probably done a great job and you've inoculated it with some compost with the beneficial soil microbiology and /or compost tea and /or native soil. All great things. Here, this is gonna break down faster than most containers, than most raised beds. All right, so I cover it up, I water it, and kind of like the old saying, you know, you set it, you forget it. You don't have to do much. Now, as far as planting in this, two options. One, plant alongside your trench. Okay, those roots are going to work into the soil and reach out for some nutrients. All right, and it's going to be available for them. Now, when you're dealing with partially broken down organic matter or stuff that's not broken down at all, you're gonna have an exchange of nitrogen and carbon. There's all kinds of stuff going on. So if you want to be safer, don't plant directly on top, plant on the side. If you are planting directly on top, which I think it's probably going to be fine in most cases, maybe even great, if you are planting on top, bury it deeper so that by the time those roots go down far enough, that stuff is already broken down and the nutrients are bioavailable. All right? Don't overthink it. Bury some stuff that would normally go into the landfill in your gardens, in your containers, and grow delicious, nutritious food for your family. If you found this to be helpful, entertaining, motivational, or all of the above, please subscribe, get involved in the comments below. Take care, everybody.